The USU software team welcomes you here. We are engaged in the development of specialized software, and we are happy to bring to your attention a new generation program for a laboratory. The program is launched with a shortcut on your desktop. Then a login window appears. Each user works under an individual login, which is password protected. Also, each employee has individual access rights to see only the information that is within their authority area. Separate access rights are configured for employees of the reception desk, of the cash desk, of the biomaterial drawing point, laboratory technicians, accountants, and the head of the organization. We will enter the program under the main role to see all the functionality. Just as the theater starts with a cloakroom, so all laboratory works begin with the reception desk. The receptionist has a patient registration window in front of him or her. If the laboratory is located in the medical center, it will be possible to register a client not only for laboratory tests, but also to see any doctor. What's more, the USU software relieves receptionist's workload as much as possible. If a doctor refers a patient for tests, he or she can make an appointment in the program. This is convenient for everyone: the doctor, the receptionist, and even the patient. When the patient leaves the doctor's office, he or she will simply go to the cash desk to pay quickly without any unnecessary additional waiting. So, unlike making an appointment with the doctor where a specific time is important, the receptionist registers patients to receive the laboratory services simply in a list, one by one. The patient is selected from a single database. It is very convenient. If a client has already used your services before, you won't need to add him or her a second time. You can search for the necessary client by the name, phone number, or document. When a patient is registered, he or she is immediately assigned a category according to gender and age, as this determines whether or not his or her test results will be within limits of normal range. If desired, it is even possible to save the client's photo in the database, which is taken with a webcam. So, when a patient is selected in the database or a new one is added, you specify who the patient was referred by. In this case, you can choose doctors not only of your own, but also of any other medical institution. This is because often doctors receive rewards for such referrals to a particular laboratory. And then you just need to choose tests from a list, which are required for the patient. The tests are displayed in a convenient list, where each type of test is shown with its own color. You can assign these colors yourself in the directories of our program. Please note that our program can work not only with names but also with special codes assigned to tests. To avoid confusion, you can use the code to find the test you need for your patient. That's it. See how fast the registration desk can work, even when you need to sign up a client for a large number of lab tests. Next, we'll show you the functionality of the cash desk. It often happens that the reception desk is combined with the cash desk. If it is the case in your institution, then the same receptionist will accept payments. You can easily display a list of selected services for any patient. You see the cost for each of the services. Moreover, the cost of the same service may vary for different patients. For example, there may be discounts for students or the retired. To accept payment, the cashier just clicks on a special action. The program itself will calculate the total amount to be paid. All you need to do is to choose the method of payment, in cash or by card. In addition, you can introduce various loyalty systems, for example, so that patients can accumulate bonuses and then use them to pay for services. As you can see, the action of accepting payment is signed as number 1. This is the first thing to do when you start working with a patient order. There is also a number 1 priority for the reporting documentation, the issuance of the payment receipt. You print it out after receiving the payment. The receipt will be printed with the logo and requisite details of your organization. An important point is the presence of a barcode in the corner of the receipt. It is needed at the next stage at the biomaterial drawing point. Having received the payment receipt, the client goes to the biomaterial drawing point. There, the nurse reads the barcode from the receipt with a scanner and immediately sees what laboratory tests are planned for this patient. The tests are grouped by type. It is clear which biomaterial to take and in what tube to place it. Everything is as simple as possible. The nurse presses a special button, after which unique barcodes are printed. These barcodes are glued to the tubes even before the biomaterial is taken, which further helps to prevent mistakes in giving the patient someone else's results. That's all. After sticking labels with barcodes, the only thing left is to take the biomaterial and put the filled tubes in the tube adapter. Please know that our program works not only with your biomaterial drawing points, but also with the points of other clinics that can't conduct certain laboratory tests on their own. Biomaterial drawing points can be located in different parts of the city for the convenience of patients. But in order to perform the ordered tests, the tubes need to be moved to the laboratory. To do this, you can use the next feature of the USU software. You need to mark those tests, the tubes of which have not yet been sent to the courier. This can be all the tubes for the day or for a certain time if the courier comes several times a day. Next, click the action called Move Test Tubes. After that, a movement invoice will be generated. It is as detailed as possible. It shows both the total number of tubes transferred by the courier and all the necessary information for each tube separately. This form is signed by 3 people: the nurse, the courier, and the medical worker who receives them. To avoid the loss of individual tubes, it is even possible to accept them one by one, by reading the barcode of each tube that is moved. After such scanning, the software makes a summary, which matches the totals on the movement list that the courier brought in. There is also a special form to check the number of tubes. All missing tubes are marked in red in this form. When the laboratory accepts a batch of tubes, they need to be placed on different tube adapters, depending on which laboratory analyzers will be used for the tests. The color of the tubes can be used as a guide. In addition, a special report will also help with the planning. This report shows the distribution of the accepted tubes in the context of ordered tests. And then the results of the tests are entered, automatically or manually by the medical worker. Separate adjustments are required for automatic entry from the laboratory analyzers. Let's have a look at how to enter results manually. Select the Enter Results action. A window appears with a list of parameters. Depending on the study selected, it can be only one parameter or several at once. Parameters can be number or line-oriented. With line-oriented parameters, you can enter any text, and you can use templates to quickly select the desired parameter from the list, rather than typing it from the keyboard. Moreover, the most frequently used values, which are considered to be the norm, can even be set up in advance, so that lab technicians work as quickly as possible and do not waste their time on selecting a value from a list. Apart from that, when you enter a number-oriented parameter, it can even change its color, depending on whether the norm is exceeded or not. If the norm is exceeded, the value will be red. If it is below the norm, it will be blue. If it is within the permissible limits, then of a standard color. The verification stage is mandatory, both in case of receiving test results from the equipment and in case of manual input. The person in charge needs to look through the entered results in order not to miss any errors. The results can be given to the patient only when it is confirmed that everything is correct. Without such a digital signature, the laboratory test performed will simply be waiting to be verified. Then, when SMS notification of readiness is sent, all that remains is to give the results to the patient. There are several ways to do this. The first and the most outdated method is to give the results in hard copy. The patient can come to the clinic and receive a printed form. Moreover, it is possible to print out both on a blank sheet of paper and on a letterhead, which can be printed in advance. The second way is to send the results of the research to email. The USU software scheduler will send everything out as soon as it is ready. This is convenient for both patients and clinics that cooperate with the laboratory. In this case, there is no need to waste time on the movement of results and burden yourself and the employees of the registration desk with extra work. The third way is the most progressive, to download test results from the laboratory website. This method is implemented on demand. Each patient gets a code word printed on the receipt, which he or she enters on the website and downloads the test results. In addition to the obvious business processes of the laboratory that we have just shown you, there are also related processes. For example, the use of various materials and reagents in laboratory researches. You will have this issue under control as well. You can make an algorithm so that a certain amount of the necessary material is written off automatically. And there will also be an opportunity to manually write off additionally spent materials. You can see the materials that remain for each product, as well as control turnover, and see reminders that some materials are running out. It is important to receive preliminary notifications so that you can be proactive and not lose money due to situations when the goods run out unexpectedly. And a special feature is the analytics generated for the manager. In addition to order and complete control, the laboratory director will analyze the work of the organization in a variety of ways. In terms of services, to see which ones are the most popular. In terms of patient retention, to see how satisfied customers are with your services and how often they come back to you. In terms of doctors, who are more active in referring patients and thereby help you to make more money. In terms of expenses, to keep them under control and strive to increase profits, and many other aspects. The list of opportunities is truly endless. We have shown you only a small part of all the features available in the program. We work with companies all over the world and have great potential to help your business to grow much faster. Feel free to contact us to find out how we can automate your organization. The USU software. Manage your business properly.